The reason I wanted to put out this new starter set is because once it was clear that we had done 50 game editions, that seemed to me to be a milestone worth celebrating, to tell the world about. And we've been doing this for so long now, and we've been enjoying it so much. I wanted to put out a starter set that would be accessible to somebody that's never played before. Doesn't overwhelm them. They don't think, well, now I've got to buy 50 game editions. Start with this. This is Champions of the Galaxy's Greatest Hits. You get a feel for all the characters. You get a feel for how to play. And then if you like it, you can start with one of our other starter sets. So this starter set, we feel, will be very good for newcomers because I can totally understand where they might feel intimidated by lots of characters and lots of stories. It's the same way if, let's say, you're just starting to get into Marvel Comics or something else, or something on Netflix that's been on for years. You don't know where to start. You don't know if you want to start. So this is intended to be a standalone. A person can buy this. They don't have to be partaking in our previous history. They can play tournaments, get to know the characters, and if they want more, then they come back to us, and we're there for them with 2 different starting points for them to play the game. The reason I think our current fans will like this is because I've tried to make it a collectible, because a lot of our fans like to have a full collection of what we release. First off, they've already got, let's say, some Star Warrior and Wolf cards, but these are unique cards with different backs representing the entire career of the character instead of, let's say, 1 or 2 years of their time. But I've done a lot more than that. I'm a collector too. We put in bonus stuff. We've got a new character in this set that I created named Horus the Unstoppable. So we'll see how unstoppable he is when people play. And then we created and put out a facsimile card for the first year that the game was ever released, a black and white version of Wolf on older card stock that we would have used back then, just so a person can see how far the game has come. That's as much for the new person, but it's a collectible for our current customers who might never have had that 1986 Wolf card. So now they've got a facsimile of it. We've got, we included a game history written by a game fan. So we've put in some bonus material into this, things I think our regular fans will, in fact, love about having Champions of the Galaxy's Greatest Hits. Yeah, deciding who to put in this starter set was very difficult. It's kind of like a band that is putting out a greatest hits album. We had hundreds of characters to choose from, but our fans know who are some of them that just, have to be in there, and they're in there, like Star Warrior, Endgame, Wolf, a few others like that. I wanted our fans to be able to participate also. So at our message board, we put out a questionnaire saying, which characters would you like to see in this set? Well, that resulted in Thunder being in it, Thrash, and a couple others there. That was all taken into account. One of the challenges we had when I was trying to figure out who to put into this set was one of the characters that made it is one of the characters isn't necessarily one of the most popular or one of the most significant, but what I found when I would go to live conventions and lay these cards out for people to see, and newcomers, when they would try it, they always wanted to play with this character. And it's a character named Hector, the Holy Brown Bear. It's a guy in a big bear costume and one that's tattered and falling apart. Well, because of the name of the character and because of the look, new people would always say, oh, who's this guy in this bear outfit? And they'd always want to play with him. And so since this starter set was designed for new people, I thought, well, I got to put Hector in there. Although some of our older fans are like, you know what, I think we could have used somebody else in that spot. But that was my compromise for the fact that at every live show, people were like, I got to use Hector. The reason that people get hooked on this gaming system is because it's fast action. A match can end in 10 seconds. A match could last a half hour. It's totally unpredictable, just like if it was real, what would actually happen. So the action takes place in real time. You don't have to do computations. You do dice rolls, you occasionally look on charts, but it's this attack defend system. You're going to have a move on offense by somebody. You're going to have the reaction of the person on defense. Either they fight it off, or they are hurt, or they are down, and then it's a next move over here. The action goes back and forth until you get a winner. So it's the drama. Every match is itself a story. And then when it's done, now you've got a new story. Star Warrior just beat Wolf and won the title. Now what? What's the next step? Who's Star Warrior going to be fighting in a rematch? Is Wolf going to get a rematch? Did somebody else storm the ring and attack Star Warrior after it was over? This is all up to the player, and they create, through this foundation we've created, their own universe that comes out of it. And that's what our fans love, I think, the most about the game, and what has kept it going, is that their imagination can run wild, and they can then share their creativity and imagination with other people throughout the world. So it's been working, and I love the fact that it encourages creativity. The nice thing about Champions of the Galaxy is the flexibility of being able to play alone or with friends. When you play with friends, it's fun. You have a tournament. You know, this person's got these wrestlers, you've got these. You play, takes an hour and a half. Somebody wins and is the champion that evening with whoever they have, Endgame or the Overmaster. So, but you can play alone, and a lot of people play that way, including myself, where you run a promotion, you keep records of who your champions are over time, what your best feuds are over time, and you share it then with others at the message board, or when we have virtual conventions or live conventions. So the flexibility of being able to play alone or with friends is, I'd like to think, part of the appeal of the game. Champions of the Galaxy universe is no different from the Marvel universe, the Star Wars universe, or even the WWE universe. The point is, you have to have compelling characters. If you've got characters that people care about following, can identify with, if you've got stories, why these planets, why these alien races have this hatred or conflict with each other, if you can create a believable universe, then people are going to want to revisit it over and over. And that's what has happened in this game. So sure, we have fans that have been there from the beginning. We have fans that started at a different point. We want to share our enthusiasm. This starter set is a way of saying you don't have to have all that history. Here is portions of it, though. And if you love it, there's way more out there for you, and we are more than ready to supply. One of the reasons Champions of the Galaxy has been successful for so long is it has engendered a community of fans that love to interact with each other, love to create characters together, share their results with each other, share their characters, share their enthusiasm. We are always releasing new products, so they're never getting bored. So you have a great example of small is beautiful. Filsinger Games isn't Wizards of the Coast. Filsinger Games isn't Disney and the Marvel Universe. What does that mean? That's awesome. We're free to do whatever we want to do. When I'm writing the new edition, I never say to myself, well, I've got to appease a stockholder. I've got to make this sales figure. It's purely from the heart. It's purely a creative endeavor. And I think our fans enjoy that and appreciate that. And like I said, as long as it keeps being enjoyable like that for our fans, for me, and for everybody, we're going to keep doing it. This is for life. The open nature of the game has really been something our fans have enjoyed, where they help contribute to the universe. Sometimes we'll even have contests where we will say, create a character contest, send in your character. If you've got a drawing, fine. If you write the game card, we will look at it, and we do reproduce some of the fan-created characters. But a lot of them we don't. They create them on their own. The openness of that is something that I encourage wholeheartedly because I admire creativity. I respect imagination. And when our game fans create these characters, they will often mail me a complimentary copy. Oh, I keep a collection of them. Some of our fans keep collections. There have been thousands of fan-created characters. It's a beautiful way to enjoy this game. While Champions of the Galaxy was originally created to be a tabletop cards and dice game, you can play it also as an online sim. We've got all our game editions available to play that way and play remotely with others virtually. However, I do want to say though, as a cards and dice game, I think that it will always have its place because as we moved, I remember when I first started this whole thing, in the 90s, people were telling me, in the zeros, you know, tabletop games are going to go out of style because we've got all these video games and computer games. And I just totally disagree with that. This will always complement that. There will always be a need for both. People want to be able to collect these cards and hold them in their hands and make sure they've got, let's say, all of them. And people put them in these little binders too, so they keep them in good condition. I think there's nothing like, it's the same reason why I collect albums. It's different from just having a CD. And it's different from playing virtually this game to have these cards right in front of you and to collect them. So I don't think that's ever going to go away. And we're going to keep it going. It's not going to go away because of us, because we're keeping that going. I'm always thinking ahead to the next edition of Champions of the Galaxy. I've never even come close to remotely getting tired of writing it. I love it. I've got another 3 or so editions plotted out in the future, and I can't even imagine stopping doing it. So I want to celebrate the 50th, and then I want to celebrate the 100th. You know, I mean, this is for life, and our game fans know that, and we're going to keep doing it.